Okay, welcome to another exciting installment of the Terrorisk podcast. And tonight, I am joined with our beloved Carmen and a new guest, Richie. What's up?
Hi, how's it going?
Panned it out. And yeah, we just got back from doing some drinking. Do you have a lighter on you, dude?
I have a match on me.
All right, I'll take a match.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just worried for a second because if we don't have a lighter, we're fucked.
I do actually have matches, so we're all covered.
That's awesome.
Nice, good job, dude.
Excellent. Thanks. I appreciate that.
So how you guys doing tonight? How both of you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing all right myself.
Yeah. I like the various mood lighting you have going on.
Oh, yeah.
Shifting rapidly from primary colors to another primary color.
Right, no. This is the strobing
Very
effect, and then we
epileptic.
could also do like
Yeah.
a slow fluid
I like a fluid
Yeah,
Please take it
transition.
fluid, yeah.
Yeah, right now it starts as red and it's gonna slowly shift.
Yeah. Very nice.
yeah,
very
there you
moody.
go.
A
Oh,
lot
it's way
of-
better, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not exactly like it's not gonna.
I'm gonna fuck your brain up. A little bit.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
cursing the podcast, okay.
Yeah, so we were talking about how like certain phenotypes of actors and actresses are just more pleasant to look at.
That's true. If I had an Aboriginal actor in a movie, I would not be very happy.
Yeah.
It's only in Australian films, but even then, it's still very disorienting.
It's like, oh, what the fuck is this on the screen, dude? Ugh.
I saw this.
Yeah.
$20 for this? No way. Yeah.
I recently saw this movie called The Nightingale, and it was about this like young Australian girl who gets raped by like British colonizing troops and shit. And it was this whole shit. She was like, it basically was about her losing like her husband, her baby father getting murdered, and her losing her child, all from this like rapist British colonizing soldier.
Sounds like a sexual fantasy.
Yeah,
And she
Sounds like
she befriends an Aboriginal man, and together they go on this like this revenge
Rape fantasy.
Yeah, well, it's like Midsummer, but with teeth.
Yeah.
like with historical teeth. Like,
Sure.
Have you seen Priscilla, Queen of the Desert?
No.
It's about several Anglo Australian drag queens, some of whom are gay, some of them are not. In the course of it, the only people that are accepting of them are Aboriginals. And they're hanging out, drinking, and surprisingly not huffing gasoline with a
Or
bunch
sleeping
of
in
abos.
streets, right? Yeah.
Yeah, or shitting in streets.
Sleeping
or
in streets.
or any
My
other
favorite thing about
dysfunctions.
drag is the claim that it's like blackface for
Well,
women.
it kind of is, yeah.
It's blackface for women, straight up.
Well,
It
that's
is.
like the old, like, still classic, like, I'm not gay, I do it as a hobby.
Yeah.
For like drag queens.
Sorry. Yeah.
Really, that's what's historical. Like, I'm not gay, I just do it as a hobby.
But honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think blackface is okay, but I think drag is okay, especially because it's blackface for women.
I take the stance that blackface and drag are okay, and if conservatives really want to fight drag queen story
They
hour,
have to fight blackface too.
exactly.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
should be a there should be a minstrel show story hour.
That's like saying if conservatives want to fight abortion, then they have to fight like gun ownership, because it's like the same shit, right? You're the one that told that to me. You were the one that
Elaborate.
you introduced that idea to me. You were like, it's funny how like pro-life people are all like pro-gun. Because if you're pro-gun, you should be pro-abortion. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, how would you feel if some person came into your domain and started like fucking up your shit and taking your shit? Like, wouldn't you feel like you want to kill them? Like,
yeah,
what's
it's a
the
matter of self-autonomy.
Exactly.
Sure, yeah.
It's like the same thing with like a baby. It's like, dude, I didn't ask for this thing.
I think I made the analogy that aborting an unwanted child is a lot like shooting a black man who is stealing a sack of money from your house. You have a burlap sack with $3 signs on it that you keep under your bed, and he's taking it. And to reclaim that money, you shoot him in the back and you just mag dump. And in the same way, when you abort a fetus, you're doing the same thing.
It's a bag of money, not like under your mattress or like into your sheets.
No, do you know
Yeah.
why? Do you know why I like that take? I like any
Tell me.
take where nobody explicitly wins. Everybody gets something, but everybody loses something, and that's that take that where it's true. It's like, yeah, if you're pro-choice, then okay, but then I get to be pro-gun and shoot poor black people who bust into my
Yeah.
home. You know,
I use really interesting moon logic to justify
But that's-
connecting these two
but
things.
that's like what we're
Yeah.
talking.
There is
yeah.
the big factor is personal autonomy. Is
Also
what's
the
connecting
preciousness
it.
of the human life.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where does one person's life and where does the right for one person's life and another person's valuables
begin?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or the more succinct way, more coherent way was your
Well,
rights and
because the
your,
argument-
your
Well, do you
rights
consider,
end
like, murder
where
like
my
an
face
absolute crime,
connects with your
Carmen?
fist.
Yeah,
What's
and
that?
Do you consider murder like an absolute crime?
Kill. I think
Absolute evil, forgive me.
killing. No. Murder. I mean,
Yes,
murder. I
murder
feel
is
is
murder,
like by
you're taking a
definition
step.
is murder by definition is unjustified killing.
It's also well, yeah, it is. Well, it's only unjustified because it's premeditated. You should never take another human's life under like a premeditated context because that's literally planning to end an existence that you wouldn't want to be ended yourself, right?
No, I disagree. I think premeditated can, depending on circumstance, be more or less justified.
Yeah, I can see
Under
that.
certain circumstances of vengeance, under the conditions of warfare, when you're going out into the field,
When you
you're
have no
expecting-
choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. But at the same time, you know, I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's always a way to solve a problem without killing a person, you know? I think so anyway. I think there's always But you know what? That's wrong. But at the same time, I'm not wrong. Like on some
You just contradicted yourself twice within like one sentence.
Yeah, I know. Cuz like
Please continue.
Because I'm acknowledging the like ambiguity of the situation. You know, when
Sure
it comes
thing.
to like taking another human life, that's a very ambiguous act, is it
Well,
not?
it's like the saying. So it's like violence is not the only answer, but it's the final one.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it's an efficient one.
Yeah.
We could recognize that violence.
transcends language, really.
Killing is efficient. Killing is very quick, and killing gets to the point faster than any nuance or any like ambiguity, which is what we really need. But we're not gonna. I mean, like that's just not how the material world works. If we're gonna go for something materially more effective, then we're gonna go for something materially more effective, right? So if it means like we gotta kill an evil motherfucker, then we'll kill the evil motherfucker. But the thing is, like, I don't know. I always have a problem with that because no matter how evil a motherfucker is, a motherfucker still has a story, right? And I'm still gonna want to hear that story, and I'm still gonna learn from that story, regardless of how evil that motherfucker was, right?
Agreed, and then you can just kill him.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but if you kill it, fuck. Yeah, I guess you
If it's
gotta,
warranted.
Some people, you know what?
I'm very happy to hear his story, but there are circumstances where
I mean, some
where
people
killing
have
is
to
so
die,
dead.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's fucked up because, like, you know, when we say this, like, we say, like, some people have to die. Like, we're not even necessarily talking about guys like Hitler. It's like, nah, we're talking about something.
He's
a lot-
someone who should definitely live, and he did
Oh,
in Argentina.
Yeah. He's like 11 Brazil, dude.
Yeah, and you know, right now, Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun have multiple great
I don't wanna
grandchildren.
do that. I
They're
don't
all
wanna-
multiple race, and all of them are big fans of Messi because they live in Argentina.
They have like blue eyes and blonde hair.
Yeah,
they're
Even when
brown.
they're cold dark.
They're cold dark,
No.
but they still have blonde hair and blue eyes. Yes,
That's like fucking Mussolini's granddaughter or some shit, right?
yeah.
Alessandra's name is?
Yo, you know what I've noticed? I've noticed the granddaughters of like.
Hey, have you seen her nudes? She was in like Playboy in Italy in like the 80s. Mussolini's daughter or
Send them to
granddaughter.
me.
Damn,
I'll
really,
check them
yeah.
out. I want to check.
Yeah.
I want to check out Mussolini's fucking.
She looks just like him if you shaved her head. That's insane.
No,
Like,
no, she's thin.
No,
You
she's
mean
still
her
pretty.
face?
Yeah, her face. If you shave her head, she's basically Mussolini.
Yeah, man. I
Like
would
to a
see her-
T.
I would see her fucking nudes. I mean, you know, I've noticed like a lot of celebrities, like a lot of famous celebrities, like grandchildren are now starting to take. Like you got Mussolini's granddaughter popping up. You got fucking Elvis Presley's granddaughter popping up. You know, and like shit. It's like maybe this is the new thing. Maybe like you know like. People in history, their lineage could finally kick in, and they could be like, "Yo, I was this person's granddaughter." So I
Well, let's just return to form when you consider the various
It is.
royalties and
Yeah.
it's just cyclic. Yeah, it's.
But
Yeah.
it seems like very weaker too. Like, oh, you're no longer a musician. You're just, okay. I'm famous. My parent
But
was
she's
famous.
good. Elvis's daughter is good. All right, so there was a new Amazon show called Daisy and the Six. It's like a fictionalized story about like a band just like Fleetwood Mac. And it's a good show. Like I would watch it. I would rewatch it with you guys because I saw it. But like, yeah, it's a good fucking television show, and you should check it out.
Daisy and the Sex.
Yeah,
and it's just a Fleetwood Mac analog or stand-in.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting though? The way the story's told isn't dramatized. You know what? You know how they do it? They do it as like
How?
a faux documentary style.
Nice.
You know, like the band was big in the '60s, and now
Yeah.
we're making. So you got like
Like
you got
Almost Famous.
Yeah, so the story is told in like a documentary format. It's like, yeah, you know, like we first started the band, and then it's dramatized when they flash back to those actual scenes. You know. That's how the Wu-Tang movie should have been. The show should have been. They should have had it where they had the real members saying like, "Yo, I remember that." He was interviewed. He's like, "Am I allowed to say that on camera?" And then they just cut right to the actual scene. That's how they should have did that movie, that show or whatever. Right? Am I wrong? I'm
Yeah,
right.
I am
no,
not
get what you're
familiar with the
saying. I get what
show.
you're saying.
You never saw the Wu-Tang show?
No, I have not.
Same.
Well, I didn't.
I take
either.
your word for it, though.
I didn't.
That
I
it's
didn't see it
invaluable.
either. But I know what it is.
That none of us saw the
But I
show
know,
that we're now reviewing.
but I know they didn't fucking do that, and that's what they should have done, because that would have worked a lot better in their favor, in my opinion. As a production of a show, like that would have worked. I just like the mockumentary style of like storytelling.
Have you seen Werner Herzog and the guy who's a screenwriter for like the first run of the X-Men
Carmen,
movies?
you gotta understand something.
Hold on, give me a second.
Chris
It's called
Claremont?
Incident. No, shut up. No. Chris Claremont was the writer in the 80s for the comic book. Incident on and off Loch Ness, which is Zach Penn or something like that. And it's about Werner Herzog and this producer / occasional director of X3, X-Men United, have a little mockumentary about finding the Loch Ness Monster. But it's just all right. I don't want to overhype it. But it's a very good mockumentary format.
Carmen, you gotta understand something about me
Go
and
on.
us and you. Like every time, like as long as we've known each other, which has been quite a long time now. As long as we've known each other, every time you've recommended something to me, whether it's music, books, or fiction, here's the problem. It's always been like highbrow. I'm not a highbrow guy. I'm a lowbrow retard, man. Like you
I
like,
keep making racist assumptions that as an Asian you're high IQ.
That I be into like all the hype. No, I'm a dumb motherfucker. All right, I like anime and shit. Okay.
That is perfectly high IQ.
Yeah,
That's,
of course.
No, it's only high IQ because I admit to it. Like it's only high IQ because I'm self-aware. That's
No,
really,
no, I'm sure you have very refined
What's
taste.
free anime, Chris?
No, but what it means is I'm open-minded. I'm also open-minded to whatever.
What's your favorite anime, as Rich just asked?
My favorite anime of all time? I'd say my favorite anime of all time that will always make me feel good no matter how many times I watch it would probably... Damn, I couldn't tell you. There's just... I mean, there is one answer, but I don't want to say it
Why?
because it's so typical. But it's
Is it Evangelion?
no, no, it's Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, yeah,
That's
same
fine,
for
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's up there for me. Not my
Yeah,
favorite.
because it's. I mean, it's not the best. Like
It's the same for me, actually,
I've seen plenty of anime besides Cowboy Bebop that were to me was a lot better. But when Cowboy Bebop was introduced to me, it came at a time when it was
where
like,
you needed it, yeah.
Yeah, it came at a time when I really needed it. That's why it was, and it was just what it was, and when it came to me, that's why I love it. Because it's not the best. I've seen better.
Of course, no, it's good, but like, it's good start. It's a good entry point for people.
What's your
For
favorite?
Westerners especially.
Yeah. What's your favorite anime, Rich?
That's a good question.
I really like Cowboy Bebop too.
Good choice.
Probably
Probably Foolie Cooley, honestly.
Fully Cooley's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the Zoomer. The Zoomer.
I guess it's kind of
yeah,
it's a super choice.
elaborate on that, both of you.
All right, so for us, we're millennials, right? Now, Gen X will always relate to Neon Genesis Evangelion. That's just their thing. That's pure Gen X. So, I mean, I wish I could lay claim to saying, oh, Neon Genesis Evangelion, but it's not. It's not my generation. It's not mine. Cowboy Bebop though is different because, like, yeah, it may have been made at like maybe like when I was like really young. But you know what? Like when it was actually exposed to me was when anime was in a very what's it called?
Transitional.
A tentative place in the West. This is when like all the anime that we watched in America at that age, it was all voiced by Canadian voice actors. Because
Is that true? I didn't know that. Steve
Yeah.
Blum, like Canadian?
Spike Spencer and all those guys?
Steve
Yeah.
Blum, yeah.
Dude, those
Blum?
are all the OG anime dubbers. They were all Canadian.
Well, I had no idea that's true.
No. Well,
It makes sense. Probably cheaper for them to do that.
No. It's also because it was.
Voice acting is also one of those kind of talents I could see Canadians excelling at.
Yeah, because you can't be too American about it, right? Because then
Yeah.
it's gonna be like, especially for anime, it's gonna be too like uncanny. You have to have something that's kind of detached from American, but very entrenched in the English like lexicon.
Right.
So Canadians are the best bet. Like Canadians are the
That
best
makes
bet.
sense.
But now it's different. Now you have literal anime that's tailored to more modern. You know, like did you guys see the new fucking Cyberpunk thing?
I haven't. Have you?
Oh my
No,
god!
no.
I know you're a big fan of.
Apparently it's
Cyberpunk.
good.
I am. I like Cyberpunk. I like the franchise, and like, yo, Rich, you would like Cyberpunk
No, I know some of it. Obviously, I've seen some bits of the anime.
because, like, you know, honestly, like, I watched like interviews of the creator of Cyberpunk. He's like this autistic black dude.
Yeah,
and like, yo, like I hear him talking like you talk. It's like you guys are like really like you guys have a lot in common. You know?
Yeah, you all end up defaulting to the Morpheus archetype, which is actually brilliant.
No, because
casting.
no, that predates Morpheus.
It
Gotta
does.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's from the '80s. He was doing the pen and paper.
Richard
thing.
Pons-
You could say Morpheus was like in
No, Mike
It's
Ponsmith,
definitely
forgive me, Mike.
based. It's definitely based. What's his name?
Mike Ponsmith, I think it says. Mike Ponsmith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
The guy who made Cyberpunk, yeah, he's
The
really
tabletop, yeah,
he's a
yeah.
really talented writer. I've read some of his work. I've never read outside of Cyberpunk, but what he wrote in Cyberpunk was like it was pretty fucking top notch. Like he's got some chops. Like I know when a writer has chops, like the same way a guitarist has chops. When they could tell a story through their guitar, when a guy could tell a story through words, I'm like he's got the chops. Like
Nice.
yeah. So yeah, I do like Cyberpunk because of Pond mostly his work, his world building, and he was better at honestly, I would also say this: he was better at world building than storytelling. Like they're two different skills. World building and storytelling are two different.
Well, I mean,
things.
he designed his. Oh, he did.
A world builder is the genre maker.
What do you use, Carmen? Like GURPS or something for system,
I
or is
think
there a
he's
D20?
been. It's good, like GURPS or his own system, because from that era they invented entirely new gameplay systems.
And gameplay systems, we all know. Like
No.
sure,
90s pen and paper games had a lot of very convoluted rule sets that are being created from the ground up. A bunch
and
of them
revised,
right.
revised over and over again.
A bunch of them required like quadratic equations
Fucking
because
same
they
thing
were
about-
aiming at a very like math-oriented college audience.
You like can I stop you right there? I just want a quick little footnote. Did you know that it was discovered 200 BC year old, like 20-sided die from ancient Egypt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
And it looked
post.
just like ours.
Well, yes, the shape is the same way.
Anyway, keep going. What were you saying?
No, I mean, it makes sense. But there's a whole run of RPGs in the 90s. You have some things that are more prominent, like Vampire the Masquerade.
I love that game. Well, I love the video game.
Bloodlines.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but it's also like almost unplayable at times.
I want the sequel so bad, but
It's-
I want
why?
that sequel
Why do
more
you
than the
want-
next Half-Life.
Why do you want the sequel? You know
It's not gonna be good,
bad.
yeah.
What?
You know it's not going to be good, right? I'll be
Why?
right back.
The
The,
main,
is it gonna be
The
bad?
main story writer got canceled, and so they cut out all,
company's going under.
they cut out most of the things he wrote, which is like 9% of it, I believe.
The story writer was sorry, as you just said, was canceled.
No. You know what I care about? What
They're
I care
back.
about is their capacity to be multiplayer. Like, cause I know how good and I know the story is gonna be nowhere near as good as like the original. Yo, Carmen, are you gonna pee?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna go pee. Anyway.
I was just thinking of this.
Anyway, Rich, I know that the story isn't going to be nearly as good as the original Bloodlines, but if it's online, any game that's online RPG, any MMO RPG gives players the ability to write their own sagas, yeah?
Sure, but it's never consistently good. It's like, okay, it's pretty much like what's it, Mad Lib? It's like, okay.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about like real world implication. All right, you heard about the legendary trolls in World of Warcraft?
No, tell me.
All right, so in you know how like in World of Warcraft there's the Horde and the Alliance?
Yes.
And you know there's guilds within each like side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a guild within the Horde group, they lost a Dark Elf member, and she was like a long-standing player within the guild, and she was like beloved, and she passed away. She died. So all the and this is a major guild, and she was like a prominent member within the guild. So all the people in the guild were like, let's hold a memorial for her in her favorite PvP zone where she just went to go fish in like this Arctic area. And then like an alliance guild heard of it, you know, so they were like, So they were like, let me get this straight. So all the fucking horde players from her guild are going to be gathering in this one spot in this peaceful memorial, and they're just going to wish her a safe passing and all that. And they heard that, and they were like, let's assault them. So that's what they did. They literally, because they posted it on the forum. They're like, please don't be dicks.
That's such a dick move, but it's pretty cool.
But they came in, they were like, yep. And then the guild, the Alliance Guild just came in, and they just fucking wrecked them. Because they were all like, they were all unarmed.
Yeah.
They were just there on a casual basis, and they fucked them up. I mean, it was like a divisive thing. Because like on one half, the people who cared about that shit were like, you guys are scumbags. You guys are dicks. You guys are assholes. But anyone else who caught wind of the story was like,
that's kind of cool.
That's the funniest shit
Yeah.
I've ever seen. Like, it was fucked up. Did you hear any of that?
I heard a little bit of it.
So how would you feel if that would happen to your beloved, like, co-guild member, and like they passed away, you were trying to do something nice for them, and they just come and like wreck everything?
I heard about a lot of like dramatic events like that.
Would you be pissed?
Yeah, I probably would be pissed, but I
Yeah.
never got to that point of playing with anyone. I had very deep emotional connections, but I was always ancillary.
So imagine, like, the people who are that deep, not even just their emotions, but their
No, a
livelihoods.
lot of people
like,
I
yeah.
know were like that.
So imagine how it must feel. Like, you just lost a beloved member,
Yeah.
who helped you, who carried you, who taught you things, and she passed away, and you're trying to do something nice for their character, and suddenly, this like fucking, this like opposing guild.
When was that? 2005, 2006, 2005 or
That
4?
is like a 2000 aughts kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
But it was real. When I first heard that, I was like, that's legendary. That's like a real like mythology type deal. Like that's epic.
Yeah, it was.
Because people felt a lot of things about that. They were like,
I
I read the
remember all the
comments.
edits
Like
of it.
half the people were like, "It's just a game." The other half were like, "You fucking scumbag! I hope you know what it feels like to lose something."
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, like that's crazy. It's a video game, for fuck's sake.
I mean, I wonder where all those people are right now. What their lives look like.
Well,
People on both
this
sides.
is a long time ago. By now,
It
we
was
could say
like
that. Yeah, 20 years ago. at
Almost
least.
20. Yeah, fuck, 20 years ago.
But so they did interviews like 10 years ago where they were like,
Yeah.
we did it. We knew what it would turn into, and we knew what it was, and we had our little bit of fame. But they're just normal people. It's normal people
Yeah.
fucking over normal people, and normal people getting fucked by normal people.
Also happening when many of the people involved are in their teens.
Yeah. Also, yeah. And back then, times were a lot harder. Like, we were just coming out of the 2008 fucked up recession. So, yeah, they were all like,
Well, this is before
nasty.
2008.
Yeah.
You know what? I think, like,
No,
all
that happened it was definitely 2014
04,
or 15.
right?
Yeah, 04.
You know what's hilarious? I think all the nastiness of our current, social media paradigm, I think a lot of it can be rooted back to 2008. Not even from the .com inception. Because,
Obama being elected? That's what
Hard
you're-
time, yeah.
No, it was from our mortgage market, literally. fucking
Recession, yeah.
imploding and prolapsing on itself. Like, that's what caused this, like...
Living off hot dog meals for a year.
Yeah, people, like, who are browner than fucking pasty were, like, losing their homes, Because, well, I mean, I'll admit it's not the white people's fault in that case. It's because, like, people of color aren't exactly the most financially, like, savvy in America.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the first couple of generations, that's just true. I mean, see, my dad always laments he's an immigrant, and he always laments how, like, yeah, our family was never really good with money. And, like, I just laugh every time I hear that. I'm like, yo, cut yourself some slack. Like, you are literally an immigrant in this country, in this hyper-capitalist hellscape. Like, you knew nothing. You were a baby. You did not know how to fucking play this game. Neither did your mother. Neither did your sisters. Like, I barely know how to play this game, and I got a better handle on it than you. So it's like I sympathize, and I want to let him know. It's like you weren't born into this. I was born into this. You weren't. So it's like I realize, like, this is kind of something that you got to be, like, more than indoctrinated into. You got to kind of make it a part of your being, right? The westernized capitalist American lifestyle.
Yes. You adapt a lot quicker than other groups coming to America.
We really
Oh, yeah.
have to. Not much of a choice.
But I also think there's this thing like, if you're too many generations in America, then that'll also fuck you. You know what I mean?
Who's in the sweet spot?
I am.
Okay.
As a first generation American, I think I am in the sweetest spot. Like, honestly, straight up.
Yeah.
Because I have like the perspectives of, I was raised by immigrants, but at the same time, I'm not an immigrant, so I have all the benefits of being an American citizen. So it's like I see the perspectives. Like, I see where one's lacking and the other one isn't. And there's even more cultures besides the one that's, the one that I'm aware of that's unspoken for. But even just from my own limited thing, like, I could even tell. Like, and I could only imagine how fucked it would be if I was like 6 generations deep, white in America. Like, I would be fucked. Like some mutt that has no cultural identity to call my own. Like,
I feel like I have a pretty strong cultural identity.
you do?
Yeah.
That's awesome. What culture do you identify most with?
Internet poster.
Same.
I mean, like national heritage, like
I mean,
Internet poster.
Yeah, same.
like a classical narrative.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's
well,
American. I think for me, it's personally American.
Yeah.
No. First of all, I love being American. I would forsake Korean identity any day over American.
Yeah.
I'm a proud fucking American. I'll be the first to fucking admit it. Yes, I may look slant. I may be one of the slanty-eyed folks. I may be yellow. I may speak Korean. I may love Korean food. I may be
You barely speak Korean from what you've told me.
I mean, it's because
Somewhat?
It's because I have high standards for that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I know I'm.
How do you
Like
feel
I
about
said,
K-pop?
my family are immigrants. Even K-pop groups, even they have like LA-born natives, like in
Really?
their groups. Of course, 100%. But like as like a person who is really actually born from people from the country, like I hold myself to that standard where I'm like, I'm a baby compared to what they must know. Because I know as a person who was raised on English, like I'll read things in English that's just so deep, so intricate, so complex, and so like,
They're also better able to comprehend English on a higher level. In Korean, you can't speak in like abstract terms,
Exactly.
like philosophy.
So
I've heard
I could
about that,
so
yeah.
exactly. So I could only imagine the type of shit they're on, but
but
I
you can
have
order
some-
food in a restaurant, maybe.
Well, there's food. There's ordering food at a restaurant, but there's also like understanding how my family treats me.
Yeah.
By white people standards, the way my family treats me would just be not okay. But by Asian standards, it's still not okay. But at least I could understand it better, than a person who just views it as not okay.
Yeah, it's a bell curve with multiple curves and parental severity.
And also, I wanna
and
say-
you come from a high, like the arc for you is more to the right end of it.
And I don't think American sensibility is explicitly white. I think it's something more than white or black or Asian. I think American sensibility is just adapting to an inevitable hyper-capitalist outcome. Hyper-capitalism was our destiny. Like, we got to just admit it. Like, we got to admit that this was.
It sounds like a very Dutch project,
Yeah.
actually.
I'm just like saying, like,
The
as
merchant
American,
race of people.
But as
on
I-
the merchant races.
but as Americans, it's our prerogative to like get used to it before anyone else, right?
Yeah.
Certainly.
So that's why, in my opinion, like, when it comes to being Asian, it's all about like national heritage, just like being like, I don't know, any country in Africa or Asia or,
You
whatever.
have deracinated white and black populations in America due to several waves of immigration.
Yeah.
This includes slavery, bringing over various different West
Okay,
African
but I'll say
ethnicities.
this. None of that was born from hatred. It was all born from logistics, efficiency, what would produce the most results. That's what it was born on. Like, honestly, I know like people are gonna hate the way this sounds, but no one really like enslaves people on an economic level because they specifically hate those people. If they really hated those people, they would try to wipe them out. They wouldn't try to.
Genocide them.
We wouldn't spend
Yeah.
money on them at all.
Exactly. They wouldn't try to enslave them or use them. They would try to kill them. So the fact that a people, like a whole people, were enslaved and utilized, that means that they were truly the most valuable of them all, like in the end.
Honestly, the most valuable, but yeah, it's driven by economic circumstances.
Yes. Not
Slavery
like,
Also,
has been-
biological too. Now it's like
now the Holocaust, that was pure like, like bias. Like, that was like, dude.
Well, no, Jews were just smarter than the Germans, and
But that, yeah, and that'll call. I hate people who are smarter than me. Why wouldn't I? Like, you're a threat. Like,
I
don't
always
hate
envy
them. I
them.
respect them. I respect people who are smarter than me. But
you
if I have
respect their grind. Yeah.
but if I have a chance to get rid of them without any repercussion, why wouldn't I?
I wouldn't because I trust them to be more efficient
No.
and better for humanity than I.
No one's better for humanity.
Well, it's
though.
like not saying
Thank you,
know,
that's sweet.
It's true though.
one Jew's good anymore gets very complicated.
I mean, we're just talking strictly in terms of game theory, right? When it comes to game theory, like if you're a human, you're a human player. Every human is equal when it comes to the game. So when you're playing the game, it's like, culturally, that's just an illusion. Same thing as religion, same thing as economics. It's all just illusion for the human experience and like preserving our own individual human experience. Like I'm number one, just looking out for number one, right? That is what game theory essentially is all about. And you can't outrule that because no matter how righteous a person claims to be, they could still always backtrack for their name of survival, for their kids' survival, their family's survival, right?
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
like, you can never outrule the rule of one, which is always like people are going to look out for number one. What's the matter, Rich? You tired?
No, I'm fine. Doing fine.
Nah,
I
you,
know,
you
I'm
were
tired.
No,
myself.
think about your question. What you just said.
You were pondering it.
Yeah.
Personally, I have a deep connection to Puritan America, even though it's barely an element of me genetically.
Culturally, you mean? You have
Yeah.
a connection to it, yeah.
For me, it's like the West, dude. Like cowboys,
All right,
stuff
all
like
right.
that.
So let me ask you first. I'm going to ask you the hard part, and then you can answer the easy part after. The hard part. What are the worst parts of Puritan culture?
Probably the sanctimoniousness, the anti-funness. Frankly, a lot of things you see within the modern, most educated left are a continuation of Puritanism.
Makes sense, yeah.
the value of work. Or is that
Value
more-
of work is part of it. Dutch also had that. Quakers had that.
And they're
The
Well, it's a
rich-
capitalist take now. Like,
Yeah.
your life's made for work. That's all you have to do.
Yes, you're correct.
and their stifling of personal agency kind of is a bummer.
But at the same time, they did have like a 95% literacy rate.
All
in
right,
like
that goes to my next
1700.
question. So now name all the best parts of that Puritan New England
I just
culture.
very high education rate.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
At a time when, like in 1700, 1750, in the Massachusetts Bay Colony, when you're looking at Puritans, which is to say,
Look at all our Ivy League schools in the Eastern.
exactly, those are a lot of those are Puritan originally.
Hells yeah, because they were smart people.
Yes, they were drawing from like the middle class and upper middle class of England.
Experience and also like legacy.
Yeah. They also had a sense, rightfully so, of being more humble than the plantation slave-owning caste within the
I
South.
mean, they're colonies. That's what it means to be a colony. You're humbled instantly.
Not necessarily, because there was a lot of Spanish, Cavalier, the American Southern Confederate.
I don't mean geopolitical. I mean environmentally. Like you're humbled by the new world. No matter if you're a colonist,
Yeah.
you're
That's
humbled by
fair.
the,
That's
yeah.
fair.
That's totally fair.
They had that more than the Spanish, the Portuguese, a lot of other colonial organizations.
Who had the best colonies, you think? English?
Probably English, yes, because they had also had multiple waves and multiple subgroups within the Americas.
No, best colonies in history were Chinese.
Oh, go on, elaborate. What, Taiwan?
Yes, Taiwan is literally
Peru?
materially Taiwan.
That was the Japanese.
Materially Taiwan is the most important colony known in world history. I mean, currently geopolitically, Taiwan is literally the most important country, economically speaking, in terms of the modern world.
Also,
and
in general,
technology.
geopolitics due to the risk of Chinese invasion, which
So you know about that? Okay, so you know.
I don't know if it
Oh
is
my
going to
God,
happen or
all
not.
right.
What do you
Oh
think?
my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I never get to talk to people about this. So I'm like,
Chris, you go first. Go ahead.
I'm
Rich,
shitting my pants about Taiwan. It's because I'm like, yo, do you guys realize that China literally promised to annex Taiwan, but Taiwan produces over 56% of our semiconductors, and our semiconductors are extremely necessary for doing all.
Wait,
of
what's the population of Taiwan? The world's population? Is it like 0.04?
Barely anything. Barely anything.
So like
But-
0.04 ends up
Manages to produce.
controlling, manages to produce, despite being 0.004 of the world's
How fucked is
population.
that?
Taiwan produces 56%. of
what
the
is it?
computer chips.
Was it a resource that they specifically like? There had to be.
No, the labor was specialized there and has some connection with American
Yeah.
geopolitics.
The
Economic.
robotic brains are made to make made
If it
perfectly to make
wasn't
semiconductors?
basically, if it wasn't for America and China, Taiwan would never be where it is now. Which is the problem
Yeah.
now that we're facing, right? Who's gonna take it? And if China goes for it, motherfucker, I'm going to war. people like us, dudes our age, are gonna get, dude. Like that's a war.
Chris, you're saying you want to die for Taiwan
No, I
to
don't
produce
want
gaming
that.
computers.
Like I'm scared as fuck, dude. I'm scared of what's gonna happen. But we need Taiwan. They need Taiwan. Everyone in the fucking world needs Taiwan. It's like, dude, if China really claims it and America says no, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think comes from? That's World War III.
Embargoes probably like
No.
Ukraine and Russia.
No, dude, that's a nuke.
An actual war.
That's
yes.
a nuke. That's a nuke going off instantly. Like, dude, we're fucked. We're so fucked because of Taiwan. People aren't understand. Like, if there's like, it's not about the Middle East. It's Taiwan. Like, I am so much more scared of what's going on with Taiwan than I will ever be scared of what's going on in any Middle Eastern country. I am terrified of what's gonna go on because you know what China has right now. Not only do they have nukes, but for conventional warfare, they have a surplus. They have an overwhelming amount of men.
How many work actually?
What?
How many nukes do they have? Do you think work actually? I can't imagine there's a lot. China's
Dude,
pretty.
there's a
confident.
saying, right? It's not a.
It's also nukes in general
Look,
because we
listen.
haven't been firing.
Yeah,
them for a
Richie.
very
There's a
long time.
saying. I'm not afraid of the man with 100 nukes. No, I'm not afraid of the country with 100 nukes. I'm afraid of the man with 1 nuke.
That's fair. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a good
like-
one. Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. It's like, yo. But seriously, that Taiwan shit scares the shit out of me because, like,
I mean, it's a continuation of Ukraine, Russia, and increasing global hostilities.
no, because Russia didn't have that same position as China had. You know, Russia was just fucking Russia. Who gives a shit? But China, everything's made in China. Everything. Our jeans, our dishes.
What they need is really. We owe them a huge debt, and they want us to pay off.
Also, no, but even beyond
No,
that,
no,
there's
no,
that.
no,
but-
no. Britain owes them a huge debt, not us.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, we do too.
I'm talking about Israel. Yeah, we're talking about Israel, right? Britain owes Israel a huge debt. We don't.
How so?
What do you mean, how so?
Britain, Israel.
Britain was the one that put them in that situation in the first place. Britain was the one that decided this will be your new.
Oh yes, they did.
Yeah, Perfidious Albion.
They fucking put them there. So
Yeah,
Britain. Has,
Perfidious Albion.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant that. Oh, would you format it as Israel owes Britain a huge debt?
no,
Okay.
I don't think Israel owes anyone a huge debt. I think Israel should rightfully struggle to stay alive because I can't think of that many justifications for Israel, for Jews to be like an ethno-religion. You know, like. I mean, maybe this is a little intense for the podcast, but I don't care. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't believe in ethno-religions. I don't care if you're Shinto, I don't care if you're Jewish, I don't care if you're whatever. I just don't believe that ethnicity and religion should be tied ever. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't believe that's
Traditionally,
okay.
they are though.
Mm-hmm.
Are they?
Yeah, in a lot
How?
of ways. A lot of the time, well, with various forms of paganism, which is to say religions that aren't Abrahamic or Dharmic, you have a connection between the local people, their families, their connections,
To land, yeah.
the land they're on. It's hard, like you can convert to Buddhism, you
Yes.
can convert to Christianity,
Or Judaism.
right? Converting to Asatru Norse paganism feels kind of incoherent.
Yeah, but those kind
Because
of
that practice was in.
but you could
very intimately
argue. But
connected
you could argue those religions were also immoral because they involved things like human
That too.
sacrifice against people's
Yeah,
will and shit.
sure.
Like, I mean, not that their beliefs in gods and shit was bad. It's just like the practices
but
they
the
did were
belie-
bad.
Well, it's
You
usually like
didn't bel-
special occasions too, with human sacrifice.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Also-
you could say they died for those practices and religions died for a reason.
it's not so much a question of morality. It's so much that those various folk traditions inherently require you to be part of the ethnicity.
That's why those things didn't work. That's why they were so awful and they were so shitty.
I mean, that's one. Yes, that's one factor. Another. Yes, actually, I agree with that fully. Also, Dharmic and Abrahamic religions lend themselves to conversion.
Yeah. Anyone
It's
could be
easier to
involved.
co- yeah.
Anyone could be involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a more better policy in my opinion. If you're going for a religion, yeah. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. If you could just
It's more
openly
competitive. It has greater Darwinian advantage.
Yes. But you know what? It all doesn't matter because in the end, even our like Abrahamic religions are still rooted in the one ethno-religion of Judaism. Because
I mean, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are more like cousin religions.
no, but Judaism was the OG.
It was the OG, yes, but modern Judaism is not overly connected to the Judaism.
Yeah, because they got caught up with the ethnicity, and that's what I disagree with.
No,
I don't
not
agree.
even separately from that. Judaism as a current religious tradition is very dissimilar from the Pharisees of Christ's time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I just don't believe in ethno-religion. I just think it's cheating. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of being able to identify as both an ethnicity and a religion. It just doesn't work for me.
No, I understand.
really don't
agree.
like
I
it.
get what you're saying.
I don't like it at all. Like it's cheating. You can't do that. You just because I believe in separation of church and state, and you cannot separate ethnicity from state. Therefore, ethno-religion is just not okay. in my
There's a
book.
lot of stateless ethnicities, though.
Like India right now.
Yeah, Kurds.
No. There is no look. Yes, there could be stateless ethnicity up until you live somewhere and you want rights, the same rights as citizens in that land does, right? So therefore,
Yeah.
it's suddenly going to become political, and your ethnicity is tied to that.
No, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you.
I'm sorry. I will never agree with ethno-religion. I will never.
I'm
ever
not
agree
even.
with
I'm not defending ethno-religion.
But this makes sense logically speaking.
Yeah, I'm not defending ethno-religions, but they exist historically and they
Yeah.
exist as a concept that
But
makes sense.
they exist historically, not
and today.
yeah, and today, and it's a problem because they exist today. Like, they shouldn't exist today, is what I'm saying. Like, it's fucked. Religion is religion.
Well, like
ethnicity
Christianity's
is
special
ethnicity.
though. It's like they secularize nature. It's a big deal for most places.
Yeah,
Explain,
but
elaborate
what
that,
other
Richie.
religion doesn't do that? You know, like,
You're no longer part of nature. You're above it or separate. Not any religion does that, as far as I know of.
Yeah, the Abrahamic religions do.
oh wait, I see what you're saying. Like they're like it's a unique religion in that it's
You're no longer
it
tied to
separates
land,
the
yeah.
material and then the ethereal.
Yeah.
All of them have.
You know what's funny? Communism does the same shit. Like it
Yeah,
separates.
because in the Western tradition. Also,
That's
all the
so
Abrahamic
interesting.
religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, all have an apocalypse, a final day of judgment that the Dharmic religions and most pagan religions don't have.
Well, it's like you can't skip hell. Like most religions you can after
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's
No,
more.
no,
No,
it's-
that's
you
the
gotta go through
Dharmic
key fa- you
religions.
gotta go through key
Some
fa-
pagans are like that. Some pagans are.
You also got to go through key phases. You got to go through key experiences. I mean, that's what I found consistent amongst those religions, where it's like how you escape the metaphorical cycle, regardless of what religion we're talking about. You know, whether it's a karmic cycle or a Nordic cycle of rebirth and destruction, like Ragnarok and shit.
Yeah, there's a commonality between the Dharmic tradition and a bunch of pagan traditions.
Yeah,
You
the
know.
karmic cycles.
Um,
Because look, cyclical aspects can't
Cyclical.
even be ignored. Cyclical, no matter whether it's modern in a modern context or ancient. Even like people from ancient times were able to look at things and be like, this kind of moves in a spiral, doesn't it? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And then same thing with us. Like we're like noticing trends move in cycles. We're moving. We're witnessing particles moving in cycles. You know. Matter to cultural trends to everything. You know.
Right.
It's a circular motion.
Dawkins' transmission of the concept of gene to cultural units of exchange.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
yes, cyclical.
Cyclical, never a straight line. It's always about a cycle. It's always a rotation. I mean, sometimes we close the rotations. Into
Like
separate
Schopenhauer,
rotations.
right? Nietzsche, you talk about that.
Eternal recurrence.
Everyone.
Yeah, term recurrence.
I think that's the most consistent thing across all belief systems is this idea of a rotation, of a circular motion of things.
A lot of traditions, yes. But not the Abrahamic ones.
I mean, think about it this way: like circular motions actually evolved us way more than like straight lines, right? Straight
Yeah.
lines was what we were able to use to make us feel less afraid, but circular motions was able to propel us forward. You know, like
Yeah.
we're able to. All right, with straight
This
lines.
is just Gurren Lagann.
I'm saying metaphysically. Straight lines were able to teach us that, like, there's binaries. There's A and B.
progression, yeah.
There's one side of the line. There's the other side of the line. There's one end of the line and the other end of the line. Whereas the spiral motion kind of opened up the dimensions where you're like, okay, now it's not just about point A to point B. Now there's different axes. Now we get different dimensions. So that's why the circular spiral motion is so prevalent in our development. But eventually we got to break out of the spirals too. That's why the spiral and the circular motion, that's why cycles feel so tiresome to us eventually. Like, sure, cycles, when we go through our routines, our cyclical motions, like, yeah, that makes us feel safe. It makes us feel grounded, rooted. It makes us feel like, we have control over something just by controlling this wheel and keeping it turning. But eventually, that's going to lose its appeal, and we're going to want to move something forward. And that's what evolution is about, trying to find that fourth dimension. I mean, mathematically, we could conceptualize it, but who knows? Maybe it's something completely different.
Yes. Do you feel like you're having an evolution with Terrorisk?
What do you mean?
The podcast. Do you feel like you're having an evolution as you just described, moving to something forward with it?
Nah, with Terrorisk, you know what I feel like? I feel like the same way I always felt like when I was having cool talks with my homies. But with Terrorisk, I get to share it. I get to put it out there. I get to actually record it and look back on it. It's like making something out of the experiences and not just experiencing them and letting it pass by.
Yeah, you're just playing record on a conversation you're having with your friends.
Yeah, it's like I get to crystallize something, out of my experiences. And that's a very valuable thing, in my opinion, to know how to do and to be able to do. I mean, that's what written history is predicated on, being able to crystallize experiences into recorded history. Not that I'm saying my history is going to be particularly worthy or necessary to observe. It's just, I'm just glad I'm able to record it. Also, just technically, the podcast, helps me build skills. I'm able to, produce a lot of things a lot better, videos, edit stuff.
Produce videos, audio, etc.
Yeah, Richie, I'm sorry you're so tired, by the way. We got about 20 more minutes of this.
That's fine. I'll live.
10 minutes, okay.
You think you can handle it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not that fucking tired.
All right, you motherfucker, let's do this. All right, so everyone's got to tell their most embarrassing story dating a woman. Here's my first story. So, this is after I broke up with my most recent ex, and I was doing dating apps, and I matched with this Korean girl, and she looked pretty enough. And we started talking. She seemed chill. I seemed chill. And I guess she expected me to be more Korean than I
Was
actually
she expecting you to be an immigrant?
Hate Chinese people instantly.
She was expecting me at least to have gone to Korean church a lot, and I wasn't just
what Catholic or Presbyterian?
Presbyterian.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Returning to Calvinist once again.
Yes. So we go to dinner, right? And you know what? I even said, and
Did she ask if you were circumcised?
No.
Okay.
She was chiller than that. So I picked the place to eat, and I took her to a place. We chose to meet at this sushi place, right? And this is a really good gag that I thought I skilled it. I met her up, and I was like, damn, she looks a lot heavier, than she was in the picture. Whatever, it is what it is. So we had dinner, and I openly admitted to her, I was like, I chose a Japanese sushi place because I didn't want to go to a Korean place, and you would see me speak piss poor Korean, and she laughed at that. She really liked that,
That's nice.
Riz, very Riz.
Yeah. So no, I didn't even mean for it. I was being honest. I was like, if I'm gonna be here, I might as well explain why I chose this place and just be honest. And that's why I was honest, and she liked it, because I figured girls like honest guys. And then afterwards, she was like, no, actually, we got along great, We did some sexual stuff that same night, and I feel bad because she was like, I want to see you again. I want to meet you again. And I never called her back. And she unmatched me and shit on the.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But it was my own fault. And honestly,
Why did you never call her back?
It was straight up because I was just getting out of a breakup. And I didn't even tell her that.
Oh, I've done a lot of things like that.
No. And it wasn't even fair to her, but it was just, I wasn't even necessarily looking for sex that night. I was just trying to just
dry hump.
Not even try. No, I was trying to get out of the mindset of being newly single and just
slinging dick constantly.
I just wanted to put myself out there, and I did. All right, that's all I did.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, but I feel bad because I hope she didn't get some kind of insecurity thing from me not hitting her up again.
Yeah.
Okay. At least I follow the camper's rule. I leave it better than I found it.
I have multiple terrible, embarrassing dating stories. And in fact, if you'll indulge my egotism, I'll
Go
go,
for it.
over multiple ones. But I'll
it.
tell one story and then move on to Richie. So my first date when I was like 17, I went out with a girl, a very fat Irish Italian woman who I met on the bus, and I was wearing a fedora, but not a short brim trilby, but a wider brim fedora. I was like 17 on the bus by myself reading Nietzsche.
Ayn Rand, yeah.
Yeah, Ayn Rand, something like that. And she told me I looked like Indiana Jones, and I laughed, and I didn't say it to her, but I thought that's a terrible comparison. I look far more awkward.
Yeah.
And we had some interaction. She added me on AIM. 2007 was the year.
What? Really?
I was 17.
Jesus.
Took me a while. I changed my age several times telling this story, several times. We went out, went to a local diner that was mediocre, but it's been in business in this town for a while. Really just, I kept straining to make conversation. I was far more autistic than I currently am. And at the time, I never wanted
I can only
to
imagine.
make
Jesus
sense.
Christ, yeah.
And at the time, I wouldn't reveal offensive thoughts. As opposed to now, where I just make a racist joke, a neo-Nazi joke, a gay joke.
No, you're honestly.
every 5 minutes.
I wouldn't even call you racist. Slight tangent. But if you were ever racist, I think you were the classiest about it because I do not know you have ever.
Thank you. I appreciate
to make a
that, Chris.
racist joke. I mean, I get the shit you say.
I say
Well, it's
racist
like-
jokes
but I don't think
constantly.
I don't think
Well,
like
it's like, you're so right wing, but you go past it.
it's like I don't think any layman would ever be able to like recognize it. Like I don't think
I
any
think-
retarded
appreciate that.
Southerner,
No, it's like
racist
saying-
Southerner would
it's
be
like,
like, hell yeah! You would just be like, you would say your thing and a racist Southerner would be like, just go gloss
It's
over
like,
it.
man, just so right wing. No one,
I think
no,
you're
no
like-
one can tell what's right wing about
Yeah,
him.
I think you're racist in the smartest way
That's sweet.
possible.
Thank
like,
you
know,
guys,
like,
both of
I'm
you.
just saying, like that's what I noticed. Like,
Okay, so it was near Father's Day, and her name was Dee Dee. I bet she was like 300 pounds and
How tall was she?
Damn.
5'4".
Jesus Christ.
I'm like much taller
Was she like
than
a
her.
pancake or something?
Yeah. No, I'm exaggerating, hyperbole. So I say to her, what did you do for your dad for Father's Day? Because she had mentioned her stepfather several times already. And she said, oh, I visited him in jail. And he was her stepfather. I guess, I don't know if her...
What race was he?
no,
I
wait,
think
no,
another
don't say that for the end of the story. I want to just tell the story and then let us
like, I
guess.
think Irish or Italian or something.
Wow, she was white.
Well, ethnic white. It's Boston.
She was Catholic white.
He's ethnic white. Yeah, Catholic white. And she said, like, oh, he's in jail for raping my stepfather was a high school wrestling coach. He's in jail for raping one of his teen students.
Yeah,
But
that
he
happens.
didn't do it.
Oh,
And the
right.
boy was lying. And she
Oh,
started
the boy was lying. Okay.
like 15-year-old boy was lying about her stepfather molesting him.
Oh,
Jesus.
okay, all
And
right.
I kind of blacked out or zoned out because I was eating terrible diner food. When we sat down, the waitress came over and was going to offer a drink. And I was going to order a drink, but she like grabbed her and was like, "No, we're under 21."
Christ.
What?
Like, I wanted to fucking drink with this woman. I was 17. I was like, let me just. The waitress was going to serve us drinks, and she vetoed it.
I would have punched her in the
I'm
face.
pissed off. Like, you retarded?
She's the same age as me.
Dude, fucking roll with it.
I would have punched her in the fucking face.
At
dude.
some point in the conversation, I remember she mentioned anal tearing
Okay.
while
Ain't no
talking
fissure?
about her stepfather raping a boy. And the more she talked, the more I thought, wow, I think he really did fuck
Yeah,
these kids.
that's not pretty accurate.
Did you have sex with her that night?
No, fuck. I did not have sex with her, and I didn't have another date for several years after.
Oh, you were like, is this what his dating is like?
Yes, yes. I just stopped dating. I didn't.
You're like, yo, this sucks. You're like, yo, this fucking awful.
I had sex at 20, and then I also found that traumatic with a woman. And then I didn't have a girlfriend until I was 23, and then I
Oh
just
my
had
God.
sex constantly since then. Anyway, Richie, go on, and I'll tell another.
I don't
story
have one at
later.
all. Go on.
You don't have a dating story?
No, not at all. They're all pretty bland.
Have you ever been to one date?
Yeah, I've been
So
like,
explain it. Explain your first date. What was your first date like?
oh my fucking god.
How old were you on your first date?
Oh my god.
Speaking to Mike.
Also,
Holy shit! Wow.
Also, first of all, I just want you to know it's a miracle that any of us went on a date because nowadays people don't date. But anyway,
really, I've heard that. I've
yeah,
heard that. I know
Anyway,
it's true. Now.
describe your first date.
Oh my god. Like blanking on. Holy shit.
How old were you?
20 something probably.
Okay, like how far are we going back?
Was this in Liberty? Is one of those girls?
Like upstate. No, I think
was it
in New
the
York
redhead
City.
Jewess?
Like what year? Was it like 2008, 2005, 2001?
Probably like 2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah, official date.
2020. So COVID.
Yeah,
Didn't you go on a date before then?
it was like a short meetup and fuck.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but actual official date is like
How
20
old was this woman?
Oh my god.
14,
35.
15? Okay.
Yeah, holy shit, I think it was Nina.
I shouldn't have said that. That was a
35.
bad joke.
Yeah.
I was like 14,
2020.
15.
Yeah, Nina,
You're like-
the first one I ever met. Yeah. in New
Oh,
York
you were like 24.
City. Yeah, 23 or 24.
Oh yeah, you were hung up on her for a while.
Yeah, it sucked.
Go on.
She's perfect woman. She's like half Japanese, half French, dude.
Oh, wow.
She's into like
wow.
industrial music. She's
Damn.
perfect. Yeah.
Holy shit.
We met at like Queens World Plaza. She was like staying in some like artist residency for like a couple months.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. It's apparently it was okay. It was fine. It was short. She had like huge like a line of she had a huge like line of like cutting scars on her arm. I didn't notice at first.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an okay time.
Where did you guys meet? Like online?
It was Hinge, I believe.
Hinge?
Yeah.
And you guys were just talking?
Yeah.
What did you guys talk about at first?
Like music.
Fuck.
She's wearing fuck, what was it? Some obscure band shirt. I can't remember at all.
No, I mean, if I were a girl and I just like ended up like randomly coming into you and like you really like zoned in on me and you started like really talking about shit and I feel like you could be a really deep guy.
Oh, I can be if I'm not drunk, obviously.
No, because I feel like all autistic people are really deep thinkers.
Sure, but it's like very characterized too, or specialized.
Yeah.
You feel
But
that's
still-
the case for you?
Sometimes it's like music.
But at least music, everyone you like music, right?
No, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so as an autistic person, you like music, right?
Well, it's just an autistic way, yeah.
Exactly. So if you really get that deep into music, you're bound to come across someone who's also very deep into the
Yeah.
music in a very similar
Do you
way
recall what music you talked to her about?
Like mostly industrial music. She's.
Oh my god,
She's
that's so
ethically
fucking
free-
autistic.
I know.
dude.
It's a very autistic genre.
Yeah.
She's a mixed race also, but she lived in Germany. She told me in Berlin.
Yeah.
How's it?
She told me all the Berlin bands she knew, or like a big going to like Bergheim.
Did you learn any music from her?
I can't remember at all. It's been so fucking long.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's cool. It was a good
I
experience.
know
though.
like a roommate or something you met.
Go on.
Was that it? You tell me. I can't remember. I remember you talking about it for a while.
What context?
You said like someone said take care of her to you.
Oh yeah, some dude she was staying with from the artist residency. He was like a Hotep black guy.
I love the Hotep guys. You know what? You know who crawled so that the Hotep black guys could run? It was the black Hebrew
Oh,
Israelites.
they're great. Yeah, they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean
Those guys are great. Everyone loves
they're
them.
OG.
They are OG.
Hotep.
Remember when we saw them like Brooklyn, I think it was? No, it was like Harlem.
We saw them in Harlem.
I thought the guy was Irish, but he was like Puerto Rican because he had red hair.
Yeah.
was,
They
like,
had that
5'2".
drawing where it's like Jesus was a black man, and it just looked like a black Santa Claus.
Yakub.
Or the
It wasn't Yakub. It was
No,
just,
I love Yakub. 'cause he-
Yakub's a great character.
I love
Yeah,
him because
Yakub's
he
great.
invented white people
Yeah.
and he invented white women, and I love white women. So
shout
shout out to Yakub for inventing the white bitches. Yeah, good shit, Yakub.
the one drawing it was like a buff Jesus from like '90s,
Yeah,
very comic Jesus,
you're right though.
like
There,
1990 Jesus.
there was a redheaded, I presume Puerto Rican.
I knew he was Irish at first. He's like 5'2" as well. So like he's a
He
little
probably
leprechaun.
is.
Yeah.
He probably is. Remember that guy that was like dressed like a wizard, a black guy who was dressed like a wizard that was standing in the middle of the street.
Yeah, I do.
Not in the middle of the street.
Yeah, I
he was
do remember
standing
that guy.
at the.
I love that though. I think more black guys should dress up as wizards.
You
Fuck
see Carmen,
Gandalf
you see
the
God
gray.
in the
I want
fucking-
Gandalf the black, yo. Like that's what I want.
You guys, see the guy in the ferry, the black wizard we walked past.
Oh yes. He had like it looked like he had a bag of.
He had a whip,
callous-
dude. It was like a fetish.
Yo.
He
whip.
was burning like.
You know what's fucked up? You know what I just realized? There were more black wizards in Harry Potter than there were Jewish wizards.
Yeah. Well, those were the goblins.
Yeah.
No, that's not. There was one Jewish wizard. that J.K. Rowling literally named by name.
Anthony Goldstein or whatever. But yeah, the wizard on the Staten Island ferry was this black guy wearing like a top hat
A
with
dress?
a feather in
You
his
guys
hair.
saw a wizard on the Staten Island?
Well, a blizzard,
black,
blizzard.
a blizzard, yeah.
Did he have a beard?
No, he had a little bit of beer, I think.
And he definitely had.
Yeah, he like fetish whip, dude.
Yeah,
It's like I could whip for fetishes.
yeah, I agree. His bag looked like a reagent pouch.
Yeah.
It was like a little like messenger bag, but a mini one. Was he burning incense?
I think he had incense burning, yeah.
He was inside the ferry burning incense, presumably to cleanse it of
Yeah.
its foul Italian
Oh, no.
spirits.
The one drunk guy. He's like
Did
in
he
the
have
corner.
a feather in his cap?
I think he did, yeah.
He had
Alright.
like a big feather in his
No,
cap.
you guys now have experienced like the shenanigans of the ferry. Now imagine being a bike messenger having to ride that every single morning, like with the methadone people crowd. You know, I was a bike messenger, so it's like
Yeah.
my life was literally wake up Monday through Friday, like at like 7 a.m., ride to the ferry by like 7:30, and then like get on the boat, and then like I'm in with a bunch of crackheads who are also bike messengers and like methadone.
What time was
people.
this?
By the time I would get on the 7:30 boat.
Okay.
Did anyone ever fall off the ferry or like drown?
In history, yeah, but it doesn't
I mean,
happen
like
that
in your
often.
experiences, like
No, never.
okay,
never
that's
in
impressive for
Florida,
like crackheads.
No, yeah.
No,
I
they're so
I got
wired.
into a fight on the ferry. And I almost threw
Tell
a
us this story.
All right, so I get off. I was, 'cause
What year is this?
2018, 17 maybe.
Okay, go on.
So I was getting on the ferry right after sword class, and I had my shit on me, and I was like jacked up. I was feeling it. I was good. It was a nice day, and I see a group of my old friends, and one of them was my friend like Little Matt, and he's being mad hostile and aggro towards me for no reason. I'm like, what did I do? And I'm trying to ask him. He's like, what did I do? And then and he just fucking like curses me out and walks away. And he was with my other friends too, which was I was also talking. So I get food, I get a soda, and then I go back and I talk to some of my friends, and then I go back to him. I was like, dude, can we talk about this? Like, what did I do? And then he straight up like slams my soda down, and it spills all over his shoes. And then I just look at him and I point and laugh. I'm like, you fucking dickhead. And then he just gets up and starts like trying to swing at me and fight me. And then I get him in a lock. And I was straight up about to like throw him overboard because he just wouldn't stop fucking moving. Right when I was like about to throw him, like the ferry dudes came, like the staff guys, and then I let him go. And then I straight up said, it's like, yo, he came up to me and they were like, yeah, I saw the whole thing. And they just took it. They just kicked him off the boat.
That's awesome.
But
They
dude,
just
I was like,
tossed him off the boat right in front of the Statue of
no, the
Liberty.
ferry didn't depart yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was literally about to like toss him like right before the ferry left. So it's like right before it left, like this was all going down. Like I was eating food. I was like, what the fuck happened? And then he just like came and he just like came up to me, and then I was like, dude, I was about to toss him out. Like that would have been fucked up. Like maybe I would have killed him. Like what if he drowned if I just?
I mean, she starts speaking Korean, they get a free pass. It's like, oh, he's not here from here. He's a foreigner.
No, but I was pissed too. I was like, I had no idea what I did to the guy. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, luckily they sided with you.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. They didn't have to side with me. They saw what happened. Like,
I mean, even considering that, they still sided with you.
yeah.
It's not
That's
a
pretty
matter
lucky,
of
yeah.
an objective truth. It's how things play out in
Reality.
about
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
game. Yeah. We're talking pure game theory here at this point. Yeah, they could have easily just said, you know what, he's Asian and that other kid's white. Let's side with the white kid.
Oh no, they would side with. The
Well, they're both
Asian.
whites. I don't know what to go to this one.
Yeah, exactly. But
Who's
I mean, if you were
taller?
fighting with like a black kid, there was always a risk of them wanting to side.
I mean,
with,
if you saw me, it was so absurd.
believe you, I believe
I had
you.
my bag of Wendy's. I had my soda, and I'm like, "Yo, Matt, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? Why are you pissed at me?" He just goes, "Pop," and it spills all over his shoes, and I just laugh like, "You fucking dick, ha!" And he gets up, and I'm like, "All right, well, I guess we're gonna do this." And I was literally about to toss him overboard, and I was like, "Oh god, that would have been so bad." I could
Yeah.
have killed him. Like it would have been
very
terrible.
well could have, but it all worked out. I think.
Yeah. Everyone did their jobs, like it was all good. I was sad about the soda, but I enjoyed my my Wendy's because there's a
Good.
Wendy's.
I'm glad you didn't lose that.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that'll about wrap it up. You guys,
Nice.
yeah. Say goodnight. Thanks for
Good night.
joining me for the first time.
Oh,
Rich.
you're welcome,
Did
man.
you like being on Terrorisk?
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a fun podcast, right?
Yeah, I think you had. I think every.
This is the most fun podcast we've been on. Like, this
I
is the most
agree.
episode we've
It's
been on.
much higher energy with 3 people.
Absolutely.
2
Yeah.
at either. If any one of us want to zone out, the other person can
We'll
take
fill in, yeah.
over.
Yeah, that's true.
With 2 people,
That's what I
it's
said.
too
3 people.
fast.
Yeah, 3 people is good.
Too much.
3 people,
2 is not enough people. 3 people really gives you an energy.
It does.
Yeah, every group needs to stop.
It's a what do you call
Exactly.
it? It's a good synergy.
Mhm.
Synergy is the word. Anyway, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.